Hey look, I actually posted again. Hello, welcome back to Next Program and another week of development on my 2D exploration game, Keeper. I got a bunch of different things done this time, so I'm pretty excited to show you all. I'm not sure how much I'll get to in this video, but we have the groundwork for the new dungeons as well as a new biome. Here's the plan for the biomes. We're gonna have 4 of them: the grass, the graveyard, the lava, and the ocean biomes. Each biome will have different art and music, along with different enemies to fight and resources to collect. So, weird story, I woke up late at night last week and I realized that we're on the 5th video now, and I still haven't mentioned something really important about the game. Backing up a bit, I took part in the Ludum Dare game jam a few months ago, where I created a game in 48 hours. Later, when I was looking at the other submissions, I found a really interesting one called Embers, which was made by a really talented game developer called Anuke. His games are always really interesting. I really like the art style, and they always give you this weird feeling of loneliness. The gameplay of Embers is pretty simple. You explore the surrounding area and collect wood to keep your fire from going out. Sound familiar? For whatever reason, I was really inspired by Embers that day, so I got his permission to make a new game inspired by his. And now, 8 months later, here we are. Since then, the idea for Keeper has changed quite a bit, but I thought it would be a good idea to go over what I have planned for the gameplay. One other big inspiration for this is the original Legend of Zelda game, where you are basically dropped in an unfamiliar environment without a map and forced to explore the world on your own. I really like the idea of letting the player try and figure out things for themselves, rather than using a rigid tutorial and story like a lot of games do nowadays. I want to take advantage of being able to take the game in my own direction without any restrictions that a AAA game company might have. With that out of the way, here's how the gameplay will work. You'll start in the grass biome and explore around, harvesting resources, crafting items, and building up a little base around your fire. A main focus of the game will be discovering recipes through trial and error. Maybe you'll try throwing a log in the fire and find out that it turns into coal. Maybe you'll combine the coal with a stick to make a torch to light up dark areas. You'll also be able to discover recipes in the world, either randomly through defeating enemies or in chests. For example, the recipe for the sailboat might be a reward for solving a puzzle. Maybe you need some slime for a certain recipe, but you feel bad about killing them, so you decide to tame some slimes for your farm and just harvest it from them. There will also be a farming system where you can grow ingredients used for potions and other things, if you're into that. And so there are the 4 biomes sprinkled around the world and a few dungeons to complete before you can move to the next area. Then I'll get a storyline put in, and that's basically the whole concept for Keeper. First things first, I've been working on a slightly different skin for the player. The plan right now is that you'll be able to change into different outfits. A bunch of people ask me why he's not wearing a shirt, and I don't know, okay? That's just how it happened when I was drawing, and stop bullying him. I also started working a little bit on a new title screen. I messed around a little bit and came up with this, and I thought it looked okay. Then I came back later and realized it looked hideous, so I made some changes, and then some more changes, and I ended up with this. Still needs some work, but I think I'm happy with it for now. So I started working on the dungeons a bit. I threw together a sprite for the outside that I think looks okay, but the roof definitely needs some work still. If you're wondering how the dungeons will work, the idea is sort of similar to the shrines from Breath of the Wild, if you've played that. Basically, you find them scattered around the world, you finish a task or solve a puzzle inside, and you get a reward at the end. There's lots of potential here. Let me know if you guys have some good ideas for the dungeons. I spent some time making some sprites for the lava biome, and here's what we have so far. I still need to add more to it since it's looking kinda empty, but I think it's pretty cool for now. You can see our little fire crystal there, which you can use for crafting, along with a little geyser thingy. By the way, a little while ago, my friend Nick asked if he could help a bit with development. He's been really helpful fixing up the design of the project, especially the inventory. One cool thing we can do now is have items in stacks in the world, which is a lot more convenient. I was thinking of a good way to show how many items are in a stack, so I made an info panel that tells you about the item you're hovering over. Basically, when the mouse detects an item under it, it sends the item info to the UI element on the left, which pops out and tells you all the info. This was okay, but I wasn't completely happy with it, so I reworked it into this. I like this version a lot better. The problem is, now you can't see the item description, so I might add that in when you hover over the inventory. There will also be a cool book that stores all the recipes you've found or discovered. I'm pretty proud of myself for figuring out a good way to make all this work. You know, sometimes the magnitude of my genius surprises even me. Speaking of books, I also made a sprite for a new spellbook and brought it into Unity. I have a habit of working on a million different things at once, so I had all kinds of weird stuff happening. That ended up being an easy fix though. Then I did some coding magic, and now you can launch fireballs. It still needs a bunch of polishing like everything else, but I think it's looking pretty cool. But the lava biome wouldn't be complete without any animals, so here's the first look at the new fire penguins. By the way, I wasn't sure before, but I decided that Keeper will be available on Steam when it's finished, which is pretty exciting. On the other hand, I had to pay like $130 for the license, so you guys better actually buy this when it comes out so I can get my money back. My next video will hopefully be out soon, but in the meantime I have some older ones you can watch. In the next video I might add some more content to the dungeons, so stay tuned. Like and subscribe and all that. Also join the Discord, link in the description. Thanks for watching and see you next time.